Morning. Welcome to, I guess, my first day of winter photography. We've had a lot of sub-zero temperatures this week and lots of fog. So I figured to break me into this gently, I'd come back to my old haunt of the Roaches. It's about time. Completely missed out autumn here, which I think, was probably a bad thing, but I did go some wonderful places. But it looks great. Everything is frosted over. There has been a bit of fog, and there's still a few banks surrounding me, so it may waft this way. Not sure. Hen clouds looking lovely in the distance back there, and I've got the trees at the base of the Roaches ahead, and they look really good. They do look nice. So everything's going to look black and white, really. I wonder what we can make of that. See how it goes. Oh, just before we get to the photography, let all the tech heads out there know I've got some new gear. So I'm using a DJI mic. The drone footage has been shot with my DJI drone, and I'm currently filming on a DJI Action Cam 3. So there you go, a bit of a DJI boy today. Not at all sponsored by DJI, but hey, you never know.
The first thing I came to was one of my favourite trees, and I completely forgot to actually turn the recorder on when I was walking around it to get the shot. So hopefully this segue will make sense when it cuts back to me.
The big problem with shooting this is it could end up getting lost. Just as when something's green and brown in the middle of summer, just the same in winter when it's white, it's going to get lost. Let me just bring this into focus for you. Okay, this shows it off quite well actually. So there you go. Again, previous video, same thing. Rocks are great frames, bit of a trail here, and but everything else is white behind it. So it's gonna be hard work. Currently got the 24-105 on. I like to shoot in 50mm when I'm on woodland trails, but we'll see how this works out. I'll show you on the camera. Okay, you can see there, I think, getting a bit blurred, what I mean about it getting lost. So hopefully the rocks, this little dark bit down here, are gonna act as a natural frame for me. Even where the trail is here, that gives me a bit of framing. I might come in just a little bit tighter. And then what I'm gonna wanna do is, when I get home, in Lightroom, just to try and pick out those really subtle colours. I don't want to go too crazy, and but I've got a suspicion I'm probably going to shoot a lot of black and white shots today. I'm just looking around the trees, but for this one we're going to go colour, because I do want to try and pick out what remaining colour there is. Now if that's worked, you're going to see it right now. Okay, first shot done. Hopefully one of my favourite trees has produced a good image. I'm gonna move on. Also, just advice, wrap up warm. I'm wearing entirely appropriate clothing. I've got good boots on, I've got waterproof trousers, I've got a very big jacket, which may be overkill actually for the weather right now. I've got a super thick woolly hat. I've got hand warmers in my gloves, and I'm wearing gloves. So base layer, mid layer, all that. I'm really wrapped up and I'm super warm, but my fingers are still feeling it. And what I've done, I haven't put my super big gloves on, but I have bought some pretty good ones out that allow me to operate the camera while I'm wearing them. And I've got the heat pads inside them, because it's the tips of my fingers that get cold, and of course that's game over if I can't operate the camera. So there you go. Also, with all this new gear, it's getting awkward to carry everything. So I'm holding this thing, which I'm shaking around now. I don't know why I did that. You know, got the camera on the tripod, and I've got the walking pole, which I'm getting used to, but I am finding very useful, and I'm sure it's going to be super with the ice and that kind of thing. But I'm overstocked, and I think if you can come out geared up as lightly as possible but still effective, that's got to be the winner. I am nowhere near to that. I have, however, just spotted that one of the things I've noticed about this last year has occurred again. The trees are stripy, so I'm going to try and take a picture of a stripy tree. I found another stripy tree. This is a good one. But of course, just having the subject itself doesn't necessarily make the composition. I've got to get something around it to make that work, bring the attention to it. You know, it's not just out there on its own being interesting. I want to make the whole thing work. So what I've got is I'm on a slope, and that's good because it's going to give the idea of height. You know, it's going to make it look taller than it is. I don't know if you can see on this, but there's a few dead trees and bushes in the way, and that's fine. Then there's a tiny stump about there, I think, a tiny stump. Now I don't want that dead centre because that'll be distracting, so I'm going to move just across a little bit just to make sure you know it's there, and then lead up to that wonderful stripy tree. And then there's the trees all around it are all a little bit different. One is absolutely mottled with snow there. You've got one with sort of bits of stripes on it, but not quite as severe. One at the back, just there, just like a normal tree, tiny bit of snow on it. And then there's also one with its those fronds hanging down right behind it, and that gives it a bit of background and separates it from the rest. So I think that might look quite nice. I'm going to give it a go now. Just a point of composition. I noticed when I framed it up that this tree is very strong and would, I think, detract from this. So although I've got these here which kind of add balance because there's more of them, and it balances the image, I think, I am worried that it's just too dark. I'm shooting at a pretty shallow depth of field there. It's only f4, so this won't be as sharply focused as the subject, but I'm going to do a portrait version as well, which gives me an opportunity to perhaps exclude this, maybe exclude this as well, and see if it still gives me a nice shot. So yeah, let's take a look at that. My hat was just too warm, which I'm not complaining about. That's a good thing. If my hat is too warm, it's doing its job, ready for when I'm up here and it's -6. So fair play, but I've had to take it off. Absolutely burning me up. If you're interested in the photography I do and you want to see more of it, I am on Instagram and Vero, and I've got a Facebook page as well. So it's just my name, Eddie Skelson, and it's Eddie Skelson Photography. So get yourself over there if you want to see the pictures that don't make it to YouTube. Well, it has been a lovely morning so far. I'm just I'm making my way back. I'm not finished. I'm going to make my way back on a sort of second tier of the Roaches. See if there's any more shots to be had. The light has been a bit meh. You know, nothing exciting, quite flat. And there is a sort of threat. There's a tiny bit of blue sky above me, but I don't see it happening. The wind's picking up, so it's getting cold again. I've got my hat on, so I think now's probably a good time to make my way home. And if I do take anything on the way, I'll throw the images up at the end. If you do enjoy this and you want to see more, especially with winter coming, some of the exciting places I'm going to go, and no doubt some of the injuries I'm going to get, like, share, subscribe, and if you push the little bell at the side of subscribe, apparently that tells you when my videos are going live. So there you go. Anything you've liked about today, anything you don't like, anyway you think I should be visiting in the winter, would be greatly appreciated. Put it in the comments below. I love reading them. I'll answer wherever I can if I think I've got something to say. But yeah, more shots to come.